Welcome to Console Commander. This is a game that I've previously started before, wasn't happy with it, so I've restarted it again. So we are basically back at the beginning. Now, what is this game? This is a space simulation game. This is the first week of me doing any work to the game. And let me show you what I've got so far. So along the top, let me start along the top. You've obviously got the FPS counter at the top left. That's just for development purposes. I might leave that in as the player. If you want to see that as well, let me know. Solars. So this is the in-game currency. So it's just like having your euro, your US dollars and all that kind of stuff. Weekly flow, this is the income from your economy, which adds on or gets taken out of your solars. Okay, and then the date is obviously the date, and the time is the time in the game. Fairly straightforward stuff for now. And then in the middle, you have the emblem, which is your own empire emblem, and you can choose from any of these 9 presets. So if you want, we can change it to that one for now. And then that will reflect later in other aspects of the game. So what do we have on screen? We've got the menu down the left here, and we've got this button here is just to reset the simulation for me. That won't be there in the final game. You'll have your usual save, load and new from the main menu, but I've not developed the main menu yet. So what else do we have? So this is the current solar system that we are in. So we currently start in Helion Crown. And if you click on the sun, we already start with full knowledge of the sun, so there's lots of different things that you can read about there, about the sun. Okay, now if you notice all of these lines, these are orbit paths for planets, and if we go ahead and click on that one, you can see it says unsurveyed world. So we don't actually have any information on that yet because we need to go and survey that planet. Okay, now if we zoom into this one, you'll see. There we go. So this planet here has a moon, which is this here. And you'll also notice the planets, as they rotate around, yes, they actually rotate around the sun. So this system, as you see it now, if you come back in however much time longer, it will look different. And then the light side obviously always stays facing the sun. And the moons orbit the planets as well, and the planets orbit at different rates. So it's all kind of realistic as possible. And then this ring here is basically an asteroid belt. Again, we need to survey that to see what we can find. Now, when you start the game, no matter what system you start in, you will start with one planet in your control, and this is classed as a habitable planet, which is this. Now, this is really basic so far. Nothing actually works in here yet. It's all just kind of like placeholder stuff, so population doesn't increase or decrease or anything like that. Nothing like that's working yet. This is just for me to get the visuals down. But yeah, you can see you've got the overview, the infrastructure, the economy, the governance, so you can set like tax rates and policies there to help develop your planet. And then there's the defense of the planet, which you'll have upgrades and stuff later down the line. One more thing that I've added in is the survey fleet. So this is the fleet that will go off and survey planets. So if we select auto survey, that will now find the nearest planet to itself, which I'm assuming has detected this one. And then it will work its way up there. So what I'll do is I'll join you when it gets there, because currently it takes quite a while to fly. Now, whilst that is on its way, we can actually have a look at a few other things. So, galaxy map. If I click that, this is the current galaxy in the game, right? You'll be able to eventually create your own galaxies and have however many stars you want in the game. And then obviously later, when we get the alien races, you'll be able to have as many of them in as you want as well. Obviously, it'll depend on your CPU power as to how complex your system will be able to be. So again, if we zoom in, you can see there's all these different star. First of all, the star types, and they've all got different names and things like that. So that's the one that we are in at the moment. So we can go into there, and we can see that obviously we need to survey all of this as well. Go back to the galaxy map, and we'll go back to our system. Next on the list is the ship builder. Now this is where you design your own ships. Now this is in its very first stage, and it's taken me a while to do this. So the idea is you start with the core, yeah, and then you build your ship. Let's have some power. You build your ship however you want to do it. Literally, however you want to build your ship is entirely up to you. But you must connect the squares next to another one. You see, I can't do that one. And then we'll put some engines at the back. And then we need, like, say, some thrusters. We'll possibly have one at the back, one at the front. And you can basically design however you want. There's all different elements that you put into here. And then on the right-hand side here, you need to make sure that you fulfill the I don't want to say objective, but things that need to have happen. Like, you've got to have crew quarters for the crew, because every single one of these requires crew to work. So if we add some crew there, you can see that number's going up now. And there we go, we've fulfilled that. So now we can actually kind of like fly that ship. You did notice as well with these, there's two red squares, like a red square at either side. That's because the symmetry is on. So if you turn that off, you can then just basically place some on this side. But you can design that exactly how you want. Now this will look a bit different in the future. So just bear with me at the moment whilst I get that working. And then there's all different things, so you can, there are some like pre-made templates, like there's a little starter ship for that, a starter hauler, and a starter corvette. So you see this has weapons on it now. So yeah, these are, like I said, this is just like version 1 of this. It will look better as I have more time to develop it, but I just wanted to get something in which is basic, and then the visuals can come later. And then you can basically save under a different category your ship, and then you can name it as well. And then this will be part of this drop down if you want to fiddle with it and change it and stuff like that. So that's the ship builder. None of these yet actually do anything. They just open the various windows. Settings does have some settings in, so we've got a few graphics settings already in. We've got the audio. You might be able to hear the clicks and the hovers coming up, and then there's just a few gameplay. So you can actually change the color of your screen if you want to play in a different color. That's basically relates to your empire color, basically. So you see that the survey fleet has changed color now, so that's basically part of that. And then there's so the notifications, you'll see there's emergency, attention, and information. Right now I'm going to hit the F8 key, which is not going to be part of the game, it's just for me testing. But if you look on the right hand side, there's notifications that come down, and they'll just wait there. So you can turn, like, if you don't want the kind of like information one on, if I do that again, you'll not get that one, you'll just get the two important ones. But that's entirely up to you. They will obviously feed down different things. So for example, I think the survey fleet is now at the planet, so we should see a notification come down here once it's been surveyed. So you can see it's not quite done yet. And there we go. So you've seen the little notification card come up there, and it's disappeared. And now we have all of this information about this planet. So we can see it's basically a rocky type planet. It's the second planet in the, what do you call it, you know, the system, if you like. It's got no moons, It's currently unclaimed. It contains iron and silicon, and that's all it's got basically. So we can now establish a mining station and we can extract the iron and the silicon from this planet. So if I go ahead and click build station, you see now we've got another notification there, look. If we click on that, it should, well, it's supposed to zoom to it, but I'll have to work on that. But what's happened is, we've now got this construction ship leaving the homeworld, heading towards that planet, okay? And that's going to construct basically a station where we can mine and extract. Now, the build key, so far I only have the resource facility able to be built. Now, when you click on this, you can basically place this anywhere within the system, yeah? So you can place it within an orbit of a planet, or you can just place it within the orbit of the star. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place it in orbit of the homeworld. I don't know why it jumped there, that's another thing I'll have to look at, so bear with me on that kind of thing. And you can see it's basically building. And this is the menu of the resource facility, and basically it's the storage of all of your different resources. And your ships will go out and gather the resources from the various different parts of the system and bring it back to be stored in here, okay? So obviously you can see here, look, deposit rich in iron, steady in silicon. I'm not quite sure where we've detected these from. I'll have to work that out, because as far as I'm aware, we've only surveyed one planet. Next to that, so you see here, we have keep 50T empty. That basically is, you set the minimum of what you keep in the facility, and the rest can be sold on the market. Now obviously I haven't got a market going yet, but that's just set up for later. And then the next column eventually will basically be where you can set the price. And then hopefully we'll get a good economy going. Now obviously the facility is not built yet, but you can see this bottom one, this is where you build your extractors, which are basically ships that will go out and collect from the planets and bring it back to the resource facility. There we go, so that has now been built. We can go ahead and build, let's build 5. They will start building, and then once they are done, and this little ship here has built the facility on the planet, it can then send ships out there to go and collect the resources. I am planning on making it a big kind of empire focused game with a government structure as well. So you will appoint people to your government, and they will then do whatever they need to do, judging based on their ability. It's a big game, I know it's a big thing to ask, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a good challenge, and I think so far quite a good start. So if anybody has got any feedback, suggestions, things that would be better or anything like that, or maybe things that you think, oh, that's not very good and that's not going to be good in the future, and things like that, anything like that, please let me know in the comments, because I'd be more than happy to take on board what anybody suggests. I might not agree with you, but certainly, you know, if I find someone has a good idea, then yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. At the end of the day, I'm making this game based on how I want to play it, but I'm happy for other people to tell me how they would like to play it as well, because I think that would make a better game. Because in my eyes, when you build a game, if one person is making a game and it's only their ideas, sometimes you can get caught in a little corridor and you just need another room to have a new idea from somebody else. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will try and get a video done every week so you can see the progress, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much.